So it's Tuesday. Usually this is the raid leader section. I'm going to go ahead and start the highlight from right here on YouTube. And what we're going to be going over today is, instead of raid leader related stuff, we're going to be focusing pretty much a lot of this week's going to be focusing a lot more on beta. And today we're going to start with the Miss Pandaria, the Brewmaster tank walkthrough. So if you guys have been on the stream, in the weeks prior and things like that, you've noticed that I've kind of went over the other tank classes on beta and the changes that they have currently, and understand that what I'm trying to emphasize when I say currently the way that I do is expect changes to happen and things like that. Okay, but today is going to be dedicated to the monk and going over everything about that, and you can find all the other ones on my YouTube just as well as you'll be able to find this one tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and hop on here, full screen this for you guys. And we're going to get on the monk, and then we're going to take this the same way that we've taken the rest of the classes. We're just going to be going over, talents and abilities, and then kind of looking at how they're implemented into actual gameplay. Okay. Now, as far as the DPS challenge, I wasn't really around Sunday, so we couldn't really make that happen. It'll be back next week, though, so I have a week delay on those. All right, so what's going to happen here, let's just go ahead, I guess we'll start with, a lot of this is new. It's kind of different than the other classes because no one's played it, you know what I mean? Like all the other classes I can kind of comment on because it's stuff that I've done before, or stuff that people have watched the stream that have done before. But the interesting thing about the monk is no one's done it, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like learning as you go for everybody involved. Okay, and I'll go ahead and say that I've never rated on this. No one's ever rated on this, so a lot of this is purely speculation for the most part. We don't really know how it's going to work out in the actual grand scheme of things and how it's going to work. We don't know if it's going to be OP. We don't know if it's going to be underpowered or anything like that. So with that said, let's go ahead and get it start going through the abilities. Okay, you have three specs as the monk. You have the DPS spec, the healer spec, and the tank spec. To be honest, I was actually pretty surprised that they added another tank class to the game. I was expecting it to be like a ranged DPS, melee DPS, and maybe a healer. But I was judging by how difficult it is for them to keep the current 4 tank classes balanced. I was really surprised that they added a 5th, but they did. So we'll see how it works out. Okay, we're just going to go through some of these abilities here. For you guys to check them out. This one here, avert harm. It's a 1-minute cooldown. Or I'm sorry, not one. Wait a minute. Okay, yeah, that's right. 1-minute cooldown. You see it here on my bar. I was getting confused with something else. Reduces the damage taken by all friendly targets within 10 yards by 20%, and causes half of all remaining damage that they take to be redirected at you. Okay, so what this is like, people may be like, well, what happened to the prop allies losing DSAC? Well, this is kind of where it went, it looks like. I mean, avert harm is like DSAC on a shorter cooldown. It's only 1 minute, but the only difference is you're also taking damage. Okay, now I'm not really sure how that's going to play out, and it reduces damage within it's a very short range, so you kind of got to be near the tank, by 20%, and causes half of all remaining damage. So basically, once you take the damage after that 20% modifier, half of that damage that everyone's going to be taking is directed at you. So the way that I was looking at this is, it's a raid cooldown that's going to have to be popped in conjunction with a personal cooldown more than likely. If it is like purely magical damage, you can see this thing here. I'm going to go over this. It's not really in order, but it's called Dematerialize. This is like a somewhat similar version of AMS, except a little bit better. Basically, it prevents magic and harmful effects from being applied, which is the same thing as AMS, but it doesn't absorb. Providing immunity against magic damage and harmful effects. So it's not absorbing it; it's just being immune to it. So it's a little bit of difference compared to AMS, and it also causes you to increase your chance to dodge by 100%. So that's the very big portion. Like, that's pretty big. It's only up for 3 seconds. That's one thing that's worse than the AMS. But as you guys know, I'm not. if I could shorten AMS to 3 seconds and get 100% dodge out of it while it's active, I would definitely do that, no question. So I mean, that's a very strong change to the ability. So you know, we'll have to see how that plays out. The only bad thing about this is it's channeled. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this and then pop it, and you guys can just check it out. Let me zoom in here. Okay, so we're gonna pop dematerialize. There it is, and you see me channeling it. Okay, and somebody said the other day when we were in here, they were talking about you can glyph it to make it not channeled. That's not confirmed, but if you can, that's going to be pretty cool. Okay, so moving on from there, let's go ahead here. Let's just go. I guess we'll go down the left column first. That makes sense. Okay, dizzying haste, 40-yard range. Okay, this is like their AOE. I got it bound to the same thing I do my death grip my D&D. Okay, you see it here. It costs energy. It's an AOE with energy, so you can just honestly you can spam this as long as you have the energy to do so. You know what I mean? And the thing is, once you get 3 stacks, okay, everyone that you throw, it reduces the movement speed within the reticule by 15%. Okay, effective targets also have a 3% chance to deal damage to themselves. It stacks up to 3 times. Now I'm not sure. I haven't really played around a lot with this. A lot of what I'm going to be telling you guys is stuff that I'm learning at the same time as you guys are. Okay, so yeah, the percent chance to misfire also does. I actually thought that was supposed to slow them completely. Okay, 45. Oh no, this is the one I'm thinking of. Okay, so you can see it here on the debuff. You keep this stacked, it keeps the movement speed reduced on them, so it's going to be very good for a tank that wants to kite. You know, if you've got a kite and you're a monk, you can honestly just kite all day long, just by AOE kite too. I mean, it's pretty awesome. Awesome as in, you know, Death Knight really doesn't have this ability. I mean, you could maybe make a comparison with like a Warrior Piercing Howl or something, but for a non-block tank, this is pretty cool. You know, let's go ahead and add another one to the mix here. We're going to go ahead and group 2 of them up. You can kind of see it walk down here. Just, I mean, pretty useful as far as kiting goes. Okay, so enough of that. I'm going to roll over here and let you guys kind of watch it play out here. Okay. There's a guy from Vodka standing by me. Okay, I'll go ahead and get these killed. You can see here the monk, it has an absorb. You can put an absorb shield on you. This is kind of like your proactive death strike. And then they have an ability somewhat like a rune tap. We'll get to that. I'm just going to show it to you guys right here. I'm going to hover over it. It's called Expel Harm. Instantly heals yourself for, you know, 1099. So go ahead and pop this here. Actually is healed me for like 13k. It causes 100% of the amount healed to instantly be dealt. So basically it's like an offensive rune tap. When you rune tap, this would be like the equivalent of a Death Knight rune tapping and doing AoE damage as the rune tap happens. You know what I mean? So it's pretty cool. And the good thing, I don't know if you want to call it good thing, but how this works is it's not like rune tap where it's on a cooldown. You can honestly, if you've got the energy, you can I mean, I'm sorry, it does have a 15-second cooldown, as you were. I thought it was just energy based. So it's 15-second cooldown, but it also costs 40 energy. Okay, so it's just kind of a short cooldown. I'm not really sure what is going to or what the. Let's see if we can find it here. Expel Harm. I wonder what this scales off of. To be honest with you, like what makes the heal. It's probably on your attack power or something. Here it is. Okay, yeah, probably have to read up on that a bit, but you know, it says here 1099, but it you know, it's healing me for about 9.3k. All right, so what I was saying, take some gear off. Sure, let's just see what happens if we just take all our gear off. You know, like I said, a lot of this is just learning, so you guys are just gonna have to bear with me here. Let's just go ahead and take. Get off the bed. My dog is like on my bed with some toy, and he's gonna end up like chewing up my stuff. Get down. Alright. Let's see. I'm going to take off the gear here and try it again. Take weapons off. Alright, this is quite a bit of gear off. This should be able to get us a pretty rough estimate. So we were at 9.3k before. So I pop it here, it's at 29. So it's probably scaling with like agility, attack power, something like that. So that's pretty cool. Ability, self heals are always nice as a tank. Alright, so moving on from that, your breath of fire. If you guys want to see this, this is chi. And for right now, it looks like chi is active pretty much full time. As far as like I'm saying, it doesn't drop outside of combat. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'll just show you guys kind of how the breath of fire thing, it's just AoE damage in a cone in front of you. Okay, it's causes a breath of fire on the target, causing, you know, damage. It's multiplied by the number of dizzying haste stacks on the target. Okay, so it kind of synergizes with your kiting. You know, say if you have a lot of stacks of this on your ads, you just run up to it and then, you know, use your, sorry, wrong button. You just use your breath of fire, and it does more damage to the stuff that's being kited. Okay. Guard. This is what I was talking about. This is kind of their version of Death Strike. It uses 2 chi, and it absorbs damage. Right here, your guard absorbs future attacks, absorbing, you know, 3. It says 31.7k right now over 8 seconds. Any heals you apply to yourself while guarding are increased by 34.7. Okay. And this kind of synergizes. I'm going to go down here to their mastery real quick. Reduces damage taken by stagger. That's something else. We haven't got to that yet. And increases the effect of the guard by 15.6. I'm not sure if that increases the amount you get healed by. 34.7 obviously is not some type of like round number, so it's obviously affected by something. But yeah, I mean, this is something that you're going to keep active while you're tanking. You're going to want to have the guard, you know, up pretty often, and this is more like your blood shield almost. So it's one thing to just kind of monitor once these tanks are like in the mix. Okay, moving on from that, we're just gonna go through all these and we'll kind of like talk about how they work together. Summon Black Ox statue. This is like this thing here, and the thing about the tank one is when you run over to it, I'm not sure if anyone can click it or if it's just me. It's probably anyone, but you won't want. Well, I guess you could, but what I'm saying is you can click it to get guard on yourself, and let me actually try something. I wonder if it stacks. I need to go find a mob. And there's so many people that have killed shit around here that it's somewhat difficult at times. So what we're going to do, we're going to find a mob and kite it back over here. I just want to see if this guard stack that I get from the statue, where the fuck did we lay that thing? Oh my god, this guy's killing my mob. Okay, well, here we got one. And my statue. No! Okay, well, damn it. Well, to wait for the statue to come back off cooldown. Okay, well, I was just going to say, anyways, you click on the statue, and it pretty much just... Okay, we have guard active. We're going to use the ability 16.3. Okay, so actually it was a pretty decent increase. So let's see. You can also, whenever that statue is out, you can use here to Leer of the Ox. It's a 20-second cooldown. Your Ox stirs hatred in the target, reducing your movement speed by 50% and causing them to attack your Black Ox statue for 8 seconds. Okay. So basically, it is a you can AOE taunt, or you can taunt. Sorry, you can taunt off of. Say like here's an instance where that would come into play. Let's say a boss is enraged. All right, if it's going to hit me, I can taunt it with my statue, assuming that's how it works. It turns to the statue, I roll away, it either kills the statue or I re-taunt it, and then you just start kiting it. So, I mean, you can only use the Leer of the Ox taunt once every 20 seconds, but it could buy you a little bit of time, and I can see a lot of situations where that would, you know, come into play and be something cool. Okay. not sure what this guy's exactly doing. Okay, so moving on from that. Recoil is just a passive talent. You know, whenever you dodge, you gain 5 energy. Brewmaster training. Tiger Palm, this is something I actually didn't catch until today. Whenever you Tiger Palm, and what it means by Tiger Palm, this is your 1 chi move. Okay, look here. As your offensive shit that you've got going on, right? You've got Jab, which costs energy that gives you chi. It does like minimal damage. This is like your auto attack, more or less, but it's generating chi. Okay? Then you have Tiger Palm, which uses a chi, and it deals damage, and if they're above 50%, it deals additional damage. Okay, but the reason that I'm pointing that out is because of how it synergizes with your Brewmaster training as a monk, or as a tank rather. Okay, what happens is every time that you Tiger Strike, you increase the amount of your next guard by 5%. It lasts for 30 seconds, and it stacks up to 3 times. So you can get it to stack up to 15%, increasing your guard by 15%. So I mean, all these values are, I'm pretty sure, going to have to be adjusted. But let's see here. Let's go ahead and get this statue out here. No. Okay, hang on. All right, we got it tagged here. I'm going to put guard up, and then I'm going to click this. Okay, so I have 2 guards active. Cool. That is, so it stacks with your own guard, so that's good to know. That's the reason that we pulled that. And then, let me see if I can use. All right. Says I'm trying to use the statue on the paladin over there. It says cannot target players. Okay, so let's see. We're going to, I guess, just wait for another mob to spawn to test that out and just let you guys see how the statue works. So we did just find out that it stacks with your guard plus this. This thing has 10 charges on it, and it has. How do I turn on? See if I know real quick how to turn on the actual amount of HP instead of just the percentage off the top of their head, because I really want to see the. Oh, here we go. Maybe. 1 sec. No. No. Okay. Status text. Here, let's try this. Okay, boom. So that's, thanks. That's 77.3 KHP. So I'm not sure, like, let's actually just test it out instead of speculating. I need to find a mob. Okay, here we go. We got one down here. Alright, we're going to taunt this. Kite it up here. No, what are you doing? Alright, so we're going to come over here, and we're going to use the statue and just watch what happens. Okay, so it taunted it. It's taking damage. Yes, it is. Okay, so I'm assuming if you taunt a boss with that, if it's even tauntable, I would assume anything that you can taunt, this thing could taunt as well. So in essence, I mean, it could just, you know, buy a hit for you. So that's pretty cool. So cool stuff. Finding out stuff as we go here. All right. Moving on from there, Vengeance, same thing as the rest of the fight. Breath of Fire, we already kind of went over that. Elusive Brew. Okay, what this does, it costs 1 chi, 45-second cooldown, and it just increases your chance to dodge a melee attack by 50% for 10 seconds. So, I mean, it's a pretty, like, useful ability. It's like a, you know, just like a mini trinket, except it's like an actual ability that you can constantly have every, 1 minute? Or, I'm sorry, 45 seconds. 1 chi for 50% dodge, okay? Moving on from that, Leer of the Ox, we just kind of went over that. Shuffle, okay, what do I have that bound to? Okay, Shift 4, that's what I have that one on. You shuffle around, causing the next 3 melee attacks to be staggered. When shuffling, you cannot move, so it's channeled. The one thing you kind of see about the monk is a lot of the cooldowns and what's going on is it's channeled. So, I mean, you know, you can look at Dematerialize, this is channeled. We're going to get to the other abilities like Meditation, this is channeled. Shuffle, this is channeled. So I'm not really sure what they're going for, having so many channeled abilities. You know what I mean? you know, just having to glyph them to unchannel them just seems kind of dumb. Why don't they just make them unchanneled to begin with? But I'm not really sure. Some of them it kind of makes sense because of what they do, but you know, we'll see how that goes. But anyways, what stagger does is you shrug off attacks. You only cause 50% of the damage. You're basically blocking for 50%. However, the remaining 50% that you negated more or less is divided over the next 9 seconds. So I'm not sure how that. I don't know if that's like a rolling window. Like if you, if you use that, and if it, I don't know how the 5-second window rolls and things like that. So let's actually use it real quick and just see kind of what happens here. So we're gonna pop this. Okay, we have stagger. Okay, you can see here it's kind of updating. So I guess it may be. Let's actually just try to get hit a lot here and just see how this works. Oh, the stagger fell off. Blah. Okay, we're going to wait for it to come back up. Okay, we're going to sit down and make him hit. Okay, so it was 500. Okay, so it looks like it just. Okay, so the only time the only time you have stagger active is whenever the shuffle is going, and then whenever the shuffle is going, you have the stagger ability happening. So that's pretty cool. 20-second cooldown, so that means you can have it up for actually an indefinite amount of time. It's causing the next 3 melee attacks to be staggered. I didn't notice something. Hang on. Okay, so it's actually only up for 5 seconds. It just went away for. That's weird. Okay. Cool beans. Okay, let's keep moving. Sorry, like I said, just trying to learn this stuff pretty much as you guys are. That's why I wanted to stream it. That way it's not like me just flying through it. You guys are kind of actually able to see it the same way that we are, or that I am, and things like that. Let's see. You guys asking, can you click stagger off? Let's check it out. Okay, we're going to go over here. Going to stagger. No, you can't click off the dot portion, or whatever you want to call it. I'm not quite sure why it's, maybe this thing is hitting me like 3 times really quick and it's making it go away. It seems like it's going away super quick. Either way, okay. Stance of the Sturdy Ox, this is the, reduces damage, this is like your tank stance, reduces damage taken by 20%, increases chance to be crit, increases your chance to stagger damage by 25%, so I guess you have an innate ability to stagger attacks. So I guess, what, in theory you could just stand here and... Okay, yeah, it is actually. When you stagger an attack, it just puts it. So basically, I guess as a monk tank, you're always going to have stagger active almost, and you can force stagger to happen if you want by popping this. Take 1 attack, 2 attack, and then it's going away. And you see the dots coming up. I'm actually really curious if I could stagger another attack. Okay, it actually did just refresh on itself. And it just keeps, I guess, yeah, it's a rolling 5-second window. Okay? Just one thing to keep in mind here. I mean, it's kind of important. I mean, that's just kind of how this class is built. So I'm not really sure how that's going to work out in a raid situation. I mean, you're always taking damage at that point. But it may be good in the sense that you never have to take burst damage almost. Because you, I mean, I guess you could if your stagger doesn't proc on top of having guard down. And things like that. So, I mean, you're still prone to just high burst damage somewhat, just like the other tanks. So, I mean, as long as it's even across the board, it shouldn't really be that big of a deal. Let's see. Brewmaster Mastery reduces the after effect of stagger damage taken. So, we're going to go ahead and hover over this again. Reduces damage taken by your stagger by 15.9%. So, I guess in essence, if you just keep stacking Mastery, you could, in theory, get to the point to where it reduces damage taken by 100% of your... Or it reduces the stagger damage taken by 100%, and that would be your cap. You obviously wouldn't want to go past 100%, so it's a block cap to an extent. Obviously, I don't really think it would be obtainable, especially during the first entry level tier. But I mean, just I guess in essence, that's how it works. Okay. Let's see. Looking at purifying brew. Sorry. What this does, you can say you want to have this bound to. Okay. Yeah, what this does is you will say that we want to instantly, I don't have to do it, or yeah, I'd rather actually. Let me go down here. I'm going to pull this, and let's get some stagger damage active. Okay, so we're going to force stagger with this. Okay, so we're going to take 501 damage. You can instantly, I'm going to go ahead and do that right now, and you can just instantly take that damage. Okay, and that's on a 45-second cooldown. So say you need to get the stagger damage off of you before, you know, say you've got a dot on you, you need to be topped off for whatever reason, or say you've got a cooldown. Here's a better situation. Say you've got this huge rolling stagger amount on you, just like dominating you, right? And say you pop a cooldown, and let's just look at this cooldown and what I'm talking about right here. Reduces, say you have meditation active, it reduces all damage taken by 99%. Okay, it's on a 3-minute cooldown. So, yeah, I'm guessing you could. I don't really know though because that's channeled, so it may not be a good example. So, I mean, it just depends. What I'm getting at though is if you have a cooldown, say you've got guard up that's got a shield on it, it's about to fall off. This is probably a better example. So your guard shield is active and you know it's about to fall. You've got like 1 second left. You know you're not about to get hit by a boss, but you've got a stagger dot rolling on you. You can just instantly purify it, and then you know that causes that damage to be absorbed. Okay, so that would be an example of how that would come into play and be useful. So. It's pretty much all those abilities here. What we're going to do now is just kind of look at some of the talents, and then we'll go through the actual abilities, and then we'll kind of like, you know, just go over any questions that you guys may have. Okay. Actually, I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to force a stagger here, and right now I'm shuffling. Oh wow, it's channeled. Cool. Except not. Okay, so actually, I've got a. Wait a minute. So basically, you're guaranteeing. Okay, so you're risking not die. If that's on a 20-second cooldown, this is on a 45. So yeah, I don't know. It's the channel thing's kind of annoying because you can't move. But yeah. Anyways, I'm not gonna harp on that too much. Taking a look at some of the talents. A lot of these are going to change, I'm sure. First talent's all about mobility or whatever, and you know this is the one. This, yeah, they've already kind of changed role and how it works, right? This one's the one that stacks 3 times. But the way they change role is it only has 2 charges, so you're not really going to, you know, be able to, you know, be able to get this stacked fully. So I'm not really sure how that's going to stick. The one that I picked is just it adds distance. And speed to the roll that your blackout kick should use, or should give you a cheap. Like I see, I just used that purify to get rid of that while the absorb is active. Okay. Again, this is the roll talent tree. All of these are going to be roll oriented. This next one, something that hasn't came in yet. Ascendance increases your maximum chi. You'll go from a number of 4 to 5. I'm not really sure how big that'll be. The one that I went with, this is kind of like a divine plea. They took it away from a paladin, kind of like the D-Sec. They gave a monk somewhat of a D-Sec equivalent, and now they're giving the monk somewhat of a divine plea equivalent. Okay, what it does, it instantly restores all of your chi. Okay, so you know I can pop. Oh, wrong keybind. What did I bind that to? Oh yeah, this one. Okay, so see there, it automatically gives me all of my chi back, and okay, so that's kind of cool. I just accidentally hit guard twice. It doesn't give you double the absorb, so that is pretty cool to know actually. So you can't stack guard in that regard. There's no more charges left on this. Okay, moving on from that, level 45. Deadly sweep. Your paralysis is now usable 40 yards away. Oh yeah, it's rushes towards a target. And then leg sweep. I have no idea what my dogs are going crazy about. Shut up. I'm like babysitting my sister's dog, and it is constantly barking. I don't understand. It makes my dog bark. Pretty annoying. This is weird though, because I actually talented into leg sweep, but I don't think that I have leg sweep. Oh, I do have leg sweep. What do I have that bound to? JK. Hey, leg sweep costs 1 chi. You knock down all enemies within 5 yards. Oh my god. This is like a shockwave. I didn't even add that to my bar yet. Cool stuff. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to use this real quick. I want to see what it... Alright, well, I mean, not going to waste time on it actually. So that's a stun ability that I talented. I guess I talented it after I put my bars on, so that's why I didn't get that. Looking at level 60 stuff, Dematerialize is pretty much going to be a staple for the tank. You're going to be picking this up. This is the version of AMS that obviously is, you know, better in a certain extent. Tiger's Lust, I mean, it's like a PvP thing, 1 minute cooldown. You know, instantly clears yourself of all debuffs. Beguile, when attacked, your movement speed is increased. Yeah, it's more or less a PvP thing as well. I mean, you don't really need a movement increased speed as a tank on a monk outside of your role, in my opinion. Moving on from there, Ring of Peace. I can see this being really good in ad fights. What happens with this is it's a 2 minute cooldown, and I mean, there's no real graphic for it yet, so I'm going to go ahead and pop this, and nothing happens. There's no graphic, but I mean, kind of the way that it's worded is it forms a sanctuary around you, because you can imagine like a little bubble-looking thing, causing all enemies being unable to attack or cast harmful spells while within it. Last 10 seconds. So basically, you can have your raid stack on the tank, and you know, be like, hey, get on square. Okay, boom. I'm gonna pop my 2 minute cooldown. That, you know, take Madness for example. You'd have all the regenerative bloods. You know what I mean? Say the tank's got like retarded amounts of stacks, and they're just like, oh shit, I'm gonna die. You know, it's like, well, if you need the stacks to fall, you just pop this, and for 10 seconds they can't attack you. Your stacks fall off, you're good to go. You know what I mean? That would be like a, you know, just a quick example. I know certain mobs that probably want to end up working on take Sinestra. I mean, it's mainly fights with ads. Say like the Twilight Whelps things. You know, you just pop those, they chill out. You let your, you know, you're not taking that much damage and things like that. So, I mean, very fight situational. Other options in this tree that you could be going with are Rushing Jade Wind. But increase or encase a friendly target inside of a tornado, becoming immune to all damage and traveling in quick speed. So it's kind of like a Hand of Sack, except instead of reducing damage, it prevents all damage from happening. This Chi Cocoon, this is something I saw the healers messing around with. It encases the target within like a little healing ball, healing them for 5% of their health every 1 second, and causing... I'm not really sure how this is going to work on a tank. You know, say like a tank spec'd into this, it's a 2 minute cooldown. I don't know if you could pop this and keep tanking the boss. Swan a Cocoon, the target moves at 50% reduced speed and is unable to attack. I mean, like, even if you're unable to attack, I'm not sure if the boss can keep hitting you. So, one thing that I guess we could do here is spec into this, actually. And let's find a Chi Cocoon. Let's give it a shot. Alright, so we're going to put this down here and go ahead and get over here away from these PvP freaks. And we're going to go ahead and get this active. Alright, and we're going to see if this thing is going to keep hitting me. Okay, so it is still hitting me. So, I mean, if this is something that stays in, just like this, I mean, you could definitely see that being a tank cooldown, because you don't necessarily have to be attacking the boss. You know, if you... I mean, it may guarantee that you're getting hit constantly, but, you know, just because it is, it says you're still immune to the damage. So I don't know, it just seems really weird. I doubt they would allow it to work on a boss to where you're still able to be attacked by the boss, but you're unable to be hit by the boss while you're regenerating 5% of your total HP, you know, every 1 second. So, I mean, what, it's active for... I didn't realize how long that was active for. It felt like, what, probably around like 5 or 10 seconds or something like that. So, I mean, you're looking at a pretty good substantial HP gain, but the biggest thing is if it would be, okay, 8 seconds, yeah, 40%. Okay, I don't see that type of thing working for a tank. You can't just be like, oh shit, here comes the Impale, here comes the Soul Reaper. You know what I mean? Let me just pop this 2-minute cooldown that makes me completely impervious to any incoming damage while healing me for 40% of my HP. I just don't see that working out. You know what I mean? So, we'll have to see how that goes. I'll just wave at this guy. Let's see. Moving on to some of these other abilities. Or, I'm sorry, we were on talents, as you were. Level 90 stuff. Chi Bind. Bind yourself to a target. Not really tank related. Let's see. Chi Spear. Okay, kind of like what? That sounds like a fire orb from Monk. And then Chi Torpedo. This just does damage when you roll. I can see that being pretty cool for ad tanking or something like that. Okay, so nothing huge there. Biggest thing I think would probably be, do you need Ring of Peace for ads, or does this Chi Cocoon work on bosses and things like that? Okay, and somebody just killed this guy, like, outright. Done. One sec. What the fuck just happened to that guy? He just, like, died. Oh, maybe that guy just, like, killed him. I'm not sure. Alright, anyways, move on from that. Let's go ahead and get the abilities and things like that and go over some of these. I think no. We actually went over all these, didn't we? Nope, we did not. Okay, avert harm, reduce damage taken by. This is the DSAC for the monk, but at the same time you're gonna have to pop that in conjunction with another cooldown. Blackout kick. This is the monk's execute. Breath of fire. We already went over that. Chi Cocoon. We went over that. Crackling Jade Lightning. Somewhat of a ranged ability, or it is a ranged ability. I'm not really sure how much viability that'll end up having for a tank. I can see certain situations. I mean, situations similar to when a prop pally would exorcism, things like that. So we will, I mean, that would be the only time. I mean, I'll have it bound, but I don't really see myself using that a ton. Maybe when the boss is, like, out of melee range, but you still want to hit it. Something like that, okay? Let's see, Dematerialize, this is the AMS. Detox, this is your blind. Or, I'm sorry, not your blind. Your Dispel, more or less, but the thing that's different is it removes all harmful poison and bleed effects. So it's actually a class that can remove bleed effects. Not really sure how many raid encounters that will come into play. Not really that big of a deal for a tank, but having the tank with the ability to remove poison effects is pretty cool, nonetheless. Disable, this is kind of like a hamstring. Once you disable a mob as a third time, it roots it in place for 8 seconds. Dizzying Haste, that's this. Oh, we already showed you. Elusive Brew, this is the mini trinket that I told you guys about. You just pop that and you gain 50% dodge for 10 seconds on a 45-second cooldown. So pretty high uptime. Expel Harm, this is a self-heal that we went over. It's amplified whenever you have guard active. Keep that in mind. Fortifying Brew, this is your last stand. Okay, what it does is you increase your health by 100%, but you cannot be healed. Okay, so that's a pretty big deal, 100% HP gain, but it does kind of suck that you can't be healed, but I'm sure cooldowns obviously would still work, and just based off of how it works, there's a lot of things that you can kind of probably do to, compensate. You've got absorbs, you've got, other abilities that we're going to get to, okay? Grapple Weapon, it's more of a PvP thing. I'm not really sure how many, PvE encounters are going to have shit you can grab. Guard, we already went over that. Healing Sphere, I still have this bound on my tank just for, say that during downtime, like say on Madness, I would put these over in the corner, all stacked on top of each other. I think you can have 3 active at once. Yeah, so say this tree was Impale or whatever, and say I wasn't topped going into the Impale. It's like, oh, let me run over here. Boom, there's, they can crit, as you can see. There's 40, 50k healing. Boom, let me get topped off through that. I mean, it's just kind of useful. The implementation, cast time, obviously you're not going to want to be tanking while you're casting them, but you can have them laid out in place prior to that, so it's pretty cool. Moving on from there, Jab, like I said, this is kind of your auto attack. This is what you use to build Chi. This, Jin Yu Cider, this is your Divine Plea, is what you kind of need to think about it. Leer of the Ox is what you use to taunt off of with your statue and or give a movement impairing effect. Leg Sweep, just think of this as a shockwave. Legacy of the Emperor, this is your new entry for the most annoying buff sound in the game. If you guys can hear that. Okay, so that is the monk buff. Just it's like kings, more or less. Meditation. Here's something we're getting to here. This is your shield wall, but it works differently than most shield walls. Okay, first off, it's channeled. Second off, it reduces damage taken by 99%. And it also redirects all harmful spells cast against raid targets within 30 yards. Now, before people flip out, I'm pretty sure that what that means is things that could be grounding totemed. You know what I mean? Like, say you were on Hagara. You know what I mean? You could pop Meditation, and it would catch the shattered ice that she spits out. All right? It's not going to catch, I'm pretty sure it's not going to catch something like the AoE pulse on Madness or the Amalg pulse on Spine. It's not going to soak all that in as well. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's not. That's something I'll have to obviously test in a raid. But that's what it does. I'll go ahead and pop that, and you guys can check out there's the animation. Looks pretty cool, actually. You're meditating, and again, it's channeled. If you move, it cancels it. And one thing I would like to also know about that, I don't really know what Blizz is thinking, because what they're doing with this is they have an ability that, I wanted to try something here. Let me do this, and then do this. It doesn't work. This is not enough chi. It's not working. I thought you could can't target players. Cannot target players. Oh well. Oh wow, now I'm flying for PvP. That may not have been a good idea. I was going to last in and use the death touch thing on him. But now there's like all the PvP freaks out there. Let's go ahead and res here. Actually, we can spirit res. Yeah, 5,000 gold. Let's do it. Okay. So go ahead and be over here. I don't feel like walking around and finding shit. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, what I was saying about meditation though is whenever you have it active, I'm not sure how, okay, so say it reduces, say it's a channel, right? It reduces all damage taken by 99%. Okay. Well, I don't know if that it says being a victim, here's the downside to this. Being a victim of a melee attack will break the meditation, canceling the effect. Okay, so what I don't understand about this though is, will it still reduce that one melee attack? So say, this is a situation I guess would present to it is, say you are on Madness. It keeps coming back to this, but that's like the most burst a tank has ever seen in the game on a consistent basis during a fight. Akin to Soul Reaper. What I'm saying is, like, if it's channeled, if you're going to be a hit, if the melee attack is going to break it, will you still get the damage reduction from that hit, and then it breaks it, or will it not apply to that hit? So I'm not sure how that's going to work. And what I can kind of see with this is, say you pop, I don't really know what they're going for with that. Say like a breath or something, that would be pretty cool, or not cool, but that would be how it would work. Like say you have this huge, or take Maloriak, right? Take the huge flame breath that's coming. Say it had like a 0.5 second cast. You could meditate, and since it's not a melee attack, the damage should be reduced by 99%. What I was getting at with Blizzard is I don't really understand why that they're doing something that reduces damage taken by 99%. It's just screaming like, hi, exploit me. Like, it's not really, I don't understand. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why they would implement something that has 99% reduction, because all you're doing is asking for someone to, try and exploit, in counter fights and make this, it's the new Ardent Defender. You know what I mean? It's, who knows? Maybe they'll have it worked out. We'll see how that works. Yeah, you would have to probably, if anything, put that in conjunction. Say you're going to pop your, what is the raid cooldown? Yeah, Avert Harm, right? So, that's probably going to be a lot of damage. Say you have the entire raid stacked on you, and you're reducing their damage taken by 20%, okay? And you cause half of all remaining damage that they take to be redirected to you. So if you have 25 people stacked on top of you and you pop that, that's probably going to be an ass ton of damage. That would be a time frame where it would work in conjunction with meditate. You're not going to be taking melees, but you could pop that and then meditate, and you're not going to take any damage, and the raid gets a cooldown out of it. However, the one thing about a monk right now is they, I mean, in essence, they don't have a shield wall. You know what I mean? So I don't really know how that's going to work out. I don't know how it's going to. Every tank has a version of a shield wall. This is their version of it, but you can't get hit while you're popping it. You know what I mean? So you know, we'll have to see how that works out. Let's see. Paralysis, you cause enemies, blah, blah, blah. This is just a CC. Provoke, this is your taunt. You mount the target, causing them to rush towards you. So this is a taunt, except it's a little bit better in some ways, not so much in others. The way that it works and things like that is when you pop it, it also puts a speed boost on the mob that makes them run to you quicker. So it's kind of cool, but not always. Purifying Brew, we already went over that. That's just what you pop to purify all your stagger damage that you have rolling on you. Quaking Palm, that's just your racial. It CCs the target. Resuscitate, can't be used in combat. Basically, it's a res. Yeah. Roll, self-explanatory. Shuffle, went over that. It's a force stagger. Spear Hand Strike. I don't really understand this because all the other tanks have 15-second interrupts. The monks is 30 seconds. Don't get it, but assume that it's going to get trimmed down to 15. The way it does, you interrupt by 5 seconds. If the enemy is facing you when they cast, they're also silenced out of all skills. So, I mean, I guess it's a little better than some interrupts. I'm not sure, but you know, having the 30-second cooldown, I don't really get why they would do that. Spinning Crane Kick. What you guys can just see here, this is just more AOE damage. Nothing real special with that. Movement speed is reduced. So basically, everything tied into a monk, it's like it reduces movement speed. You know, and you hit somebody once, I mean, it's just good for AoE tanking. They're shaping up to be really good AoE tanks and things like that. Stance of the Tiger, it's just your offensive stance. Sturdy Ox is your tank stance. Statue, we already went over that. Tiger Palm, that's one of your offensive moves. And then Touch of Death, that's what I was trying to use on that Paladin earlier. You know, it can't be used on players, so it's only non-player targets. I guess I changed that because I was pretty sure that it could be used on players earlier. Could be wrong. And then you've got Transcendence. You split your mind or your body and spirit, leaving your spirit behind, and then you can swap between 2 locations. So that's actually really cool. You know what I mean? Say it's like a Warlock portal for a tank, which is awesome. You know, say I want to pick up a say you're one tanking rag. Here's a perfect example. You have Scion spawning on the left and the right. Okay, you drop this on the left. You run over. I'm sorry. You drop this on the right. You run over to the left. Hit that one. As soon as you got threat on that, you pop it. You go back over here and pick up the other one. So it's pretty cool. As far as how that works. So, yeah, that'll be another really cool ability. But, I mean, so far, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of potential, I guess, with this, but I don't know. It just doesn't really seem... Some of it seems like it synergizes really well, but some of it seems like, you know, what the hell are they doing? Because I don't really understand what they're doing with so many channeled abilities, and I don't understand why their shield wall breaks. First of all, I don't understand why their shield wall absorbs 99% of incoming damage, you know what I mean? And... much less it breaks on melee. I'd rather have it just be a standard shield wall like every other tank has, and you know, you just pop it. I mean, even make it like a warrior. Make it a 2-minute at 40%, or make it like a paladin druid DK, 50% on 3 minutes. So, I don't know. Hopefully they just keep making some tweaks, getting it fixed where it needs to be, but, I mean, it's not bad overall. What we're going to do at this point is I'll kind of go over some of the questions that you guys may have. So go ahead and post any question. I'm going to scroll through chat and see if you guys have anything. Do you even take damage when purifying, or does it just disappear? Let's see, which one was purify? Let me read the tooltip real quick. I had it right here. Instantly purifies all of your staggered damage. I would assume when it purifies, you take the damage. It's kind of hard to tell. Like, the fucking combat text in this is shitty, and I can't really log. But, you know, assuming that you take the damage. Let me see if I can just... or whatever. I can't tell shit on this default UI, so I'll have to get back to you on that. Are healing spheres worth using while tanking on yourself? Like I said, you can kind of preset them up when you're not tanking, and then move over them when you need to. Okay. Yeah, the one guy brought up a good point. Whenever you put yourself in the cocoon, even though that one mob was just hitting me, I was the only person that was aggroed to it. So, like, say in a raid situation, it might work just like a bop. And, you know, when the bop is on the target, it just goes to someone else. So, you know, just have to see how that works. Let's see. It's threat fixed for Brewmasters, and I haven't really done much of anything on it. I'm just waiting for them to get some legit 5-mans going, not just the, you know, normal monastery thing that they've got. Dual Tanger 2-man for monks, I'm not sure. I mean, you got to look. It's you know, I've got a staff on now. You're looking at, you know, 611 stamina if you're wearing 2 of these. It's going to end up being less stam. Also, you know, you've got, say, mastery is probably going to be really good. You got 272 mastery out of that. You're going to have, you know, a lot less mastery out of these. So I would probably go with a 2-hander, just similar to how a DK does. But there would be some situations maybe when dual 1-handers would trump or prevail. The one guy here is saying it's not really a shield wall. Yeah, I just don't know though. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure it's only going to work against targeted spells. So say like you're on Nefarian, you know, you're not going to be able to pop that and then have the lightning generator shit that hits the whole raid only hit the monk. It's just not going to happen, you know. I mean, that right there, it's just, yeah, that's not going to be the way that it works. It just can't be. Let's see. Yeah, the one guy say he doesn't like the idea of channeling abilities. I'm not really a fan either, but you know, we'll see how they work out. There's probably going to be a lot of changes made to this. Okay, especially when the raid testing starts. Please check if you put guard up and then cast meditation. If absorb melee attack, interrupt the meditation. Okay, so this guy's saying he wants me to put guard up, and then cast meditation. Okay, so we're going to go find a mob. Okay, so we're going to pop this and then meditate. Alright, so I didn't really get a look at that. How long is the meditation up for? Yeah, definitely cancel it, but I think the absorb actually delayed it breaking, so that's one thing. But it does no. I just don't see the point of why you would want to do that, because it's already being absorbed. You're not gaining anything. You're not gaining anything out of the meditation, I guess. So I guess one thing would be like, you know, if it's absorbing 99%, or when you're up, you reduce all damage taken by 99%. How long is the guard on you for? Maybe the guard fell off. No, 8 seconds. It shouldn't have fell off. So I'm not really sure how that works. Because I guess what I'm saying is if it was counting the damage you took at a 99% reduced value because meditation was active, I don't think you would have broke through the guard that quick and then canceled the meditation. So yeah. You guys keep saying it's a raid cooldown. No, you're wrong. Like, that's not what it. I mean, you're not going to have an ability in the game that just reduces everything from the raid. Like, everything. It's not going to work like that. You guys are seeming to not understand. You're not going to have a 3-minute cooldown that makes your raid basically bubble for 8 seconds every 3 minutes. It's just not going to happen, because all that you're going to do is have a raid full of monks on any. I mean, like, that's just asking, hello, you know, exploit the shit out of me, please. Let's just have 25 monks and call it a day, because you could chain the shit out of meditation and no one would ever take any fucking damage. That's not how it works, okay? When it says spells cast against raid targets within 30 yards, that does not mean raid damage. That means targeted abilities such as, like, Hagar's Shattered Ice, such as, like, you know, things like that. It's not talking about the Ultraxian AoE pulse at 5 minutes. You know, you're not going to just have monks chain that, you know, just shit that can be grounding totemed. That's all that this is referring to, okay? since Paladins are being run out of the game, do you think due to the new release of the class, the monks are going to be the premier tank like Deco is? I don't know. It really depends, man. I'm not sure. It's too early to speculate on that. It's too early to speculate on anything about who's going to be playing what and things like that. Let's see. Do I think it will work for Ice Lance on Agara? Yes, I do. It will work for that. Yeah, you guys understand? Like, okay, look. If you, yes, you're able to prolong the meditate. You're able to prolong the meditate by having absorbs on you. But check it out. Why would you need to meditate if you're absorbing the damage? You know what I mean? It's like, oh, hey, cool, look, I'm able to meditate while tanking this, okay? If anything, you're making it worse because you can't dodge while you're channeling, you know? Hopefully you would at least dodge and prolong the absorb being active. You can't, you know, by popping meditate and spam clicking your statue, you might as well just not be meditating and spam clicking your statue. It's not changing, because once you get hit, the meditate's canceled. And the only reason the meditate's still active is you're absorbing the damage. It's not taking the 99% reduced value. And you have immunity from what? I don't understand what you're saying. Like, I don't know, maybe spells? That would be something, I guess, that you guys would be, you know, saying to do for. Like, you know, it says, I mean, it prevents damage taken by 99%, redirects, blah, blah, blah. The thing is, I mean, say you could pop that on attraction, you would mitigate the magic buffet damage, but, you know, you're still going to, it's going to get broken as soon as you take a melee, okay? Let's see. Do you need any other stat than Agi, Stam? No, not crit. It's probably pretty much going to be Mastery and Stamina. That's going to be your two stats as a monk. That's what it looks like right now. We'll see how that plays out, okay? So, I mean, kind of all over the place a little bit, but, I mean, you guys kind of get to see what's going on. I don't think that they're... I mean, I don't know, man. I don't want to draw a conclusion on it yet. We'll just have to see how it goes on raid testing. I will be playing the shit out of the class once raid testing is out there. You know, we may just get on here as a raid and, you know, do some of the old content with a monk tank and just see how it works. But, you know, definitely probably need some add-ons, some power wars and things like that, because playing with the default UI is just brutal, okay? One thing that I want to go over with you guys, we're not going to be able, we don't have the time to do it today, but, there is, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys this. This is a spreadsheet. This is what we'll do tomorrow for the tank Q&A. Okay, so make sure you guys are around tomorrow. I'm going to be going over, I'm going to be plugging in the monk shit, and then you guys can see kind of where it stacks up with the other classes and things like that. You know, we'll make the spreadsheet public tomorrow. So make sure you guys show up tomorrow, 5 p.m., and then we'll get it going on things like that. Mastery for a monk, you're asking what it does. Mastery increases the amount that your effects of your guard. So it's basically increasing the amount that you absorb. Just think like Blood Shield. It's basically like a combination between a Pally and a Death Knight, to be honest with you. That's what a monk kind of looks like, okay? You know, the way guard works is really similar to the way Blood Shield works. But the way stagger works is kind of similar to the way block works, you know? You have an innate amount of stagger. Let's see if it's even listed on your thing here. Defense. Yeah, I'm not sure, like, how do you even tell... I'm not really sure how you can tell what your stagger percent is. Maybe it's just, that's it. There's no... so maybe I just have a 16.6 chance to stagger, okay? And then it increases, so that's just with the pre-made gear, okay? And things like that. Let's see... If you reduce, okay, you guys are still talking about this. If you reduce the incoming damage by 99%, you absorb it. You're basically immune to. No, that's what you're not understanding. We just did this, okay? So I'm going to do it again because people are confused. Okay, so I'm going to taunt this. Check it out. I'm going to pop guard and immediately pop shield wall. Okay, so we're going to pop guard and then we're going to pop shield wall. Okay, you see it broke already. Okay, actually the guard was still active, so you know. Maybe I dodged the one earlier. I actually have no idea why the other one was up so long. So that was with the absorb active. It just canceled the meditation. So, yeah. I don't know. I would not try to fixate on that too much. There's not going to be a way that you can, exploit it into being some, super amazing thing. I'm pretty sure they're going to be on the ball with trying to keep it balanced. Okay, so, it is what it is. And again, tomorrow we're going to start plugging in a spreadsheet, and this is going to be a stream that you guys can go to follow, like, Miss tanking, to the T. I mean, everything about it. DK, Druid, Paladin, Warrior, Monk. Every bit of it. This will be the place that you go to make, to understand what's going on and things like that, and give input, So it's like a stream that, it's an EJ version of a stream or something like that. EJ is probably a bad comparison. Probably just like a, yeah, I don't really know a good comparison, to be honest. I mean, because, there's not going to be, like, insane math equations and all this shit going on here. Zonker and Shinna and all them, those are our math nerds, all right? So we just give them numbers, and they tell us what needs to happen with it. This is pretty much a place where you can come to, find out what's happening, practical application. That's kind of where I excel, just, getting in there, trying it, being like, well, this is what, it's kind of looking at a race car driver. You got the people that drive the car that are really good at driving the car, but they're not the mechanic, you know what I mean? The mechanics and all the people that are good with the numbers, the people that I tell them what needs, I'll be like, well, this is what I think, blah, 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 and then, Zonker or Shinna or Ataxis are always like, boom, this is the numbers or what, things like that. So, hopefully you guys, I'll link this tomorrow. I got to have some bait for you guys to show up, carrot on a stick. You guys show up tomorrow, and we'll be going over all that stuff, all right? So, hopefully you guys enjoyed the Monk preview. It's pretty in-depth, actually. We covered every single one of the talents, abilities, and kind of you guys got to see them in action a lot. So, if you guys still have questions, post on my Twitter or something like that, and then I'll try to get to you. I answer those questions every few days or so. But, pretty busy lately. Again, if you guys haven't seen it yet, go ahead. It's on Mana Flask. There's a video up of us getting the, world first achievements and things like that for the guild. So, all in all, good show. Hopefully, you guys will be back tomorrow for the remainder. And, going over that spreadsheet. And also may do a few armory audits and things like that. So, is that a Master Chief on the wall? Yes, it is. Okay. Pretty big fan of Halo. I don't know, just like the military. Being in the military for 8 years kind of does that too. Okay, but thanks again for watching. We got 2 8 out of 8 clears going on tonight. Dragon Soul, Heroics. So make sure you guys are around for that. Starts in about an hour or whatever. So yeah, if you guys haven't followed the stream, do me a favor and hit follow. And yeah, there's something going on here pretty much every day, Sunday through Friday. As long as I don't have anything conflicting, we'll keep the stream going. So thanks again. Make sure to follow the stream. Please subscribe on YouTube, and make sure you guys hang around for the raid starting in less than an hour. All right. Good shit. Good talk. Thanks. I'm gonna chill out for the raid and run a couple commercials.